You are one step away from something big. A promotion, a deadline, a relationship that is finally working. And then you do something to ruin it. You pick a fight. You miss the meeting. You stop trying right when it matters most. You tell yourself it was bad luck or bad timing, but your brain did that on purpose. This is not a character flaw. It is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is a survival program, and it is older than civilization. Your brain was not built to help you succeed. It was built to keep you alive. And to your ancient brain, success can look a lot like danger. In the 1970s, psychologist Martin Seligman at the University of Pennsylvania discovered something strange. When animals were repeatedly exposed to situations they could not control, they stopped trying even when escape became possible. He called it learned helplessness. But there was a deeper finding. The brain does not just shut down under failure. It shuts down under the threat of losing something it already has: status, safety, predictability. In the 1970s, Harvard psychologist Steven Berglas identified a pattern he called self-handicapping. People who expected to succeed would sabotage themselves beforehand, not because they wanted to fail, but because failure after a self-created obstacle feels safer than failure after trying your best. If you ruin it yourself, at least you are in control of the story. Then Carol Dweck at Stanford showed the other side. People with a fixed mindset, those who believe ability is something you either have or you do not, are the most likely to self-sabotage before high-stakes moments. Because if you try your hardest and still fail, it means something about who you are. But if you never really tried, you stay safe. Your identity stays intact. Picture your ancestors on the savanna. Your group has a strict hierarchy. Everyone knows their place. Now imagine one person starts rising, getting more food, more respect, more attention. That is not just a personal win. That is a disruption. And disruptions attract threats, rivals, jealousy, retaliation from those above. Your brain learned this early. Standing out can get you killed. So it built a circuit: when success gets too close, pull back. Make yourself smaller. Create an excuse. Stay in the middle. Not because you are afraid of winning, but because your ancestors who won too visibly sometimes did not survive to pass on their genes. The ones who held back a little, they did. And you inherited their caution. Here is the counterintuitive part. Your brain sabotages you not when things are going badly. It sabotages you when things are going well. The closer you get to something meaningful, the louder the alarm. That procrastination right before the deadline. That argument you start when the relationship gets serious. That sudden self-doubt the night before the presentation. That is not fear of failure. That is fear of what comes after success. New expectations, new visibility, a new version of yourself you are not sure you can maintain. Your brain would rather protect the self it knows than risk the self it might become. You see this everywhere once you know it. The entrepreneur who misses the pitch meeting. The student who stops studying 2 days before the exam. The person who ghosts someone they actually like. In each case, the brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is managing threat. The threat of visibility, of responsibility, of no longer having an excuse. And once the sabotage happens, there is relief. Real, measurable relief. Because the tension of almost succeeding is gone. That relief is the reward your brain was chasing the whole time. So what do you do with this? You cannot fight the circuit directly. It runs too deep, but you can name it. The next time you feel the urge to pull back right before something important, notice it. Not as weakness, not as a sign that you do not deserve it. As information, your brain thinks something dangerous is about to happen. It is trying to protect you. The question is, protect you from what exactly? Most of the time, the answer is not danger. It is train. You were one step away from something big, and your brain pulled you back. That was not failure. That was evolution doing its job. The part that is hard, the part no one tells you, is that sometimes you have to succeed against your own instincts. Not because your brain is your enemy, but because it was built for a world that no longer exists.